Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this episode, what I'm going to talk about is 5 male singers, right? If you've been following the podcast, you've already heard the episode where I talked about 5 female singers. You get your 5, I got my 5. Um, these male singers are my personal favorites of all time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you who they are, my favorite albums from them, and my favorite song. And I'm going to play the song. So if you're watching on YouTube, you may want to go to and you want to hear the audio or you want to hear the song, then you need to listen to the audio version of this podcast because I'm not playing it on YouTube because they'll take it down. All right. So as I mentioned on the 5 female singers, I mean, like, these are my 5 favorite male singers. I'm willing to bet that I can put this 5 up against any 5 that you could probably come up with. When I was thinking about my 5 favorite male singers, one of the things that occurred to me was that, like, when I started thinking about my favorite male singers, like, the list isn't as long as the female singers. I don't know if that's if there's any particular reason. Like, I like a lot of male singers, but I don't have a lot of favorites. Like, I gotta listen to this person or I gotta get this person's album or something like that. It's not like that with me with male singers. Like I'll use Johnny Gill as an example. I like Johnny Gill, but I mean, like, he's not like a top 5 favorite. I like Babyface. He's not a top 5 favorite, even though he's immensely talented. Bobby Brown, whomever you want to name. Which was different from what I did when I had to do the women's, because, like, when I started writing down my favorites, my 5 favorite for my women, like, I had a pretty, like, nice list, like, just my favorites, and then I narrowed it down to my top 5 favorites. But the men, I like them, but I like dope singers. I like dope singers, and when you've been listening to music as long as I have been listening to music, you come across some good ones, and you come across some great ones, and you learn to appreciate their music. So without further ado, I'm going to give you my 5 favorite male singers. And again, I'm going to give you the singers, my favorite albums from them, and let you hear my favorite song. They're in no particular order. Number 1, Stevie Wonder. If you know me, you know that I grew up listening to Stevie. I mean, Stevie was he was literally one of my favorite, one of my first music introductions, one of my first introductions to music, period, in any genre. For as far back as I can remember, in my household, that's Stevie was one of the first artists that I heard. And so the love for Stevie was from day one, as far back as I can remember. My parents always had Stevie Wonder records, and they always played them. And so every single Stevie song I heard. But I have a favorite album, and it may come as a surprise to many of you. My favorite Stevie Wonder album is Hotter Than July. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, man, no, it can't be. It can't be. It's got to be Songs in the Key of Life. Songs in the Key of Life is the greatest album ever. And it very well may be. It's just not my favorite. I love Songs in the Key of Life. Who doesn't love Songs in the Key of Life? And again, you can make the case that that is the greatest R&B soul album ever. It's right there. I mean, it's right there. But my favorite is Hotter Than July. My favorite Stevie Wonder song, Lately. Whoo, listen, man, listen. That song still does it to this day. Um, and I love the Jodeci remix. But lately, man, incredible. Incredible. Stevie on the piano. I mean, and that was another thing too. Like, I just really grew to appreciate Stevie, not because he was blind, but I mean, like, the dude was a master on the piano. He was a master with the harmonica. I mean, like, multi-talented. He played the drum. I mean, like, what can't Stevie Wonder do? um, so yeah, Stevie's on my list. Number 2. Again, these are in no particular order. Number 2, Michael Jackson. Man, listen. I don't think anybody who came up in the era in which I came up in the 80s and 90s can have a list of anything and don't have Michael Joseph Jackson on that list. Mike's my dude, man. I love him. Love him, man. Miss him. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Mike? My favorite Michael Jackson album, which may come as a surprise to you as well. My favorite Michael Jackson album, Invincible. I know you're probably thinking Off the Wall or Thriller. Off the Wall, dope album. Love it. His greatest album, in my opinion. But my favorite, and Thriller sold a gazillion copies, but Thriller's not better than Off the Wall. Yeah, I said it. I said it before he was, and I'll say it again. Thriller's not better than Off the Wall. But my favorite is Invincible. Favorite song, which appears on Invincible, Butterflies. Whoo! Listen, that joint right there. All you do is this right here. You're swooning. You're swooning. Oh man. Yeah, Mike's that dude, man. That dude. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about Mike. Number 4. No, I'm sorry. I'm at 3. Yeah, 3. 3. You see the cover art, man. Come on, man. Prince Rogers Nelson is my number 3. Now I love Mike. Think the world of Mike. Always been my guy. Prince is my dude. Period, point blank. Prince is my dude. And yeah, we used to get into the battles back in the day of people saying, who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson? I mean, we all know who's better. Prince was better. Yeah, I said it, Baylor. Shout out to the homie Baylor, who for some reason thinks Michael Jackson's better than Prince. Well, he's not. But yeah, man. Prince. That's my dude, man. I mean, like when Prince passed away, like I was like seriously like crushed. Like it's crazy. Favorite album. Favorite album's Purple Rain. Yeah, that goes without saying. Favorite album's Purple Rain. I love Purple Rain. Favorite song. Whew, this is close. Favorite. I actually have, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's my podcast. I have two favorite songs. My first favorite song is Adore. Yes, Adore. From the first moment I saw you, I knew you were the one. That night I had to call you. I was rapping till the sun came up. Man, listen, y'all don't know nothing about rapping till the sun come up. Um, yeah, so that's like one of my favorites. Um, my second favorite from Prince, 17 Days. Man, listen, 17 Days is so cold. It is so cold. 17 Days is just backstory to 17 Days. 17 Days does not appear on the Purple Rain album, at least not the album that I bought. My mom bought me. But I got the 45, right? Because I had my own record player, and my mom got me the 45 of When Doves Cry. And on the B side of When Doves Cry was 17 Days, man. And I played that song and played that song and played that song. Man, over and over and over. And my mom, at one point, she was like, "Can you play something else?" I used to play it all the time, man. Shout out to Prince. I love that joint. I miss that dude tremendously. Number 4, again, in no particular order, Luther Vandross. Can't go wrong with Luther, man. Big Luther, little Luther, don't matter. Don't matter. It don't matter which one you pick. He got bangers for you. Favorite album, I probably have to say The Night That I Fell in Love. Favorite song, that's tough because Luther's got some smokers. But my favorite, the joint that really moves me and rocks me, If This World Were Mine with Cheryl Lynn. Man, listen. That thing goes and goes and goes. It just does. I mean, it is classic Luther. I never get tired of hearing that song, man. Never get tired of hearing that song. Last but not least, again, they're in no particular order. Number 5. If you know, you know. If you know me, you know why this guy's on this list. Number 5, D'Angelo. Man, listen, that's my dude right there. D'Angelo, man, I'm a huge fan, man. Huge fan. Been a fan since day one. Fell in love with the Brown Sugar album and been rocking ever since. My favorite album from D'Angelo, which is I think it's his best album, even though a lot of people think it's Voodoo. I think Brown Sugar slightly gets the edge. And my favorite song is Smooth. Whew. Listen, it doesn't get any better than that. It does not get any better than that. So again, I'll give you my 5. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Prince, Luther Vandross, and D'Angelo. Come on, man. What you doing with that? You get your 5 and bring your 5 to the studio. I'll get my 5. I'll bring my 5 to the studio, and we'll see who comes out on top. I'm telling you, you're not touching my 5. You're not touching my 5. But like I said, I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about, some of my favorite singers, favorite male singers, and do me a favor. Let me know who yours are. That's gonna do it for me. Once again, thank you for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Remember, the podcast drops every Thursday at midnight. Again, I'm your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5 Gs.